The coffee scalded my tongue as I settled onto the weathered porch swing. The Montana dawn cloaked the Harrington Ranch in its serene embrace. At 62, I'd witnessed countless mornings here, each weaving a thread into the fabric of my life. Then the peace shattered. A growling engine ripped through the quiet, followed by the grind of gravel under reckless speed. A dust cloud billowed down my drive, and through it charged a silver Bentley, chrome rims flashing like a gaudy brag, barreling toward my house like it meant to crash through. Before I could set my mug down or hoist my aching knees upright, the car skidded to a halt, flinging dirt across my porch steps. The doors swung open, and out stepped Lydia Harper, striding like she owned the ground beneath her, which was absurd since she was trespassing. Her charcoal power suit screamed urban elite. Her stilettos pierced the earth, and she brandished a stack of papers like a battle flag, storming toward me, ignoring the "no trespassing, violators prosecuted" signs my great-granddaddy hammered up 70 years ago. "You need to vacate this property now," she shrieked, still yards off, her voice sharp enough to cleave stone. "I bought it fair and square. This ranch is mine." I froze, her words a sucker punch. "Mine. I'm Thomas Harrington, Tom to friends, retired Marine gunnery sergeant, 25 years in the Corps, battle-scarred and earned every moment of this peace. The Harrington Ranch, carved from wilderness 130 years ago, isn't just land. It's my bloodline. My great-grandfather built this house, board by board. The deed, ironclad, sits in my safe 50 feet away. Every fence post holds a story, every barn scratch an echo. My Mary, gone 3 years, loved this porch, her hand warm in mine as we watched sunsets ignite the fields in gold. Her roses, planted by the barn, still bloom fiercely each spring, anchoring me to her memory. Losing this place would be like carving out my heart. Lydia's eyes, cold as a viper's, scanned the porch, the house, the endless acres, dismissing them as hurdles. I could almost hear her plotting. Old ranch, old man, easy prey for whatever sterile subdivision they were concocting across the highway. Whispers of developers swallowing land had circulated in town. Those odd cars lingering by my gate weren't lost travelers. My marine instincts, softened by years of calm, screamed danger. I stood, all 6 feet 3 inches of me, letting my frame loom, my posture snapping to the discipline that had faced worse than her. "Ma'am," I said, voice low and steady, "you're trespassing. Get back in your car and leave my property before this gets ugly." My hand twitched, itching to clench. This wasn't just about paper. It was Mary's roses, our sunset view, my family's legacy. Lydia, reeking of ambition and designer perfume, was trampling my life. She laughed, a cruel jab. "Ugly? You're just a squatter on my land, old man. I've got a buyer ready. Sign these relocation papers, or I'll have you dragged off." Her arrogance left me speechless. Before I could retort, she spun, heels gouging the gravel, and peeled out, her scent lingering like a taunt. 3 days later, she was back, her Bentley crunching up my drive with 2 goons in cheap suits, their faces hard but green. Lydia stayed by her car, smirking. "You were warned, Mr. Harrington," she called as the suits advanced. "These men are here to finalize the paperwork. Cooperate." The bigger one, thick-necked, aimed a phone at me, narrating, "Subject is hostile, refusing lawful orders." Lawful. I planted myself on the porch steps, arms crossed, fury chilling my veins. "You're trespassing," I barked, my drill sergeant voice thundering. "This is private property. Leave." He kept filming. "Subject is threatening." I snorted. "That's a warning, not a threat." I pulled my phone, hitting record. Thomas Harrington, Harrington Ranch, documenting Lydia Harper and 2 unknowns trespassing after prior warning. All actions recorded for Sheriff Coleman. The suits faltered. Lydia's smirk wavered. "You'll regret this," she spat. I shrugged. "Doubt it. Those papers legal?" "Didn't think so." As they retreated, Lydia deliberately crushed Mary's rose bush, petals scattering like blood. It wasn't just vandalism, it was war. Sleep became elusive. Every creak sounded like footsteps. Shadows danced with menace. I cleaned my Beretta 92, the ritual grounding me, not for violence, but readiness. Lydia's game was costly. Legal fees to my lawyer, Mike Larson, an old core buddy, weren't cheap, even discounted. The ranch scraped by. My savings weren't infinite. Could I be the Harrington who lost it all? A week later, the answer came. I was wrestling a stubborn pump in the barn when engines roared. Not one, but a swarm. Lydia's Bentley led 2 pickups and a van, unloading a dozen suits, surveyors, and clipboard-wielding lackeys. They fanned out like invaders, eyeing the barn, pens, fences. Lydia strutted up, smug. "We're here for the preliminary inspection for the purchase agreement you signed." I laughed, raw and bitter. "Signed? I haven't signed a damn thing. You're trespassing, all of you. Get out." She waved a paper, smirking. "Your signature, filed with the county today." I snatched it, a shoddy photocopy with a forged scroll. Close, but wrong. My blood ran cold. This was fraud, calculated and cruel. "That's not mine," I growled. She shrugged. "Looks like it to the clerk. Tell it to the judge." As she ordered her crew to measure the barn, chaos erupted. Ethan, my 19-year-old hired hand, argued with a suit near the pens. The suit shoved him. Ethan hit a rotten fence, and it splintered. The cattle, spooked, stampeded, a thundering mass of panic. Lydia's crew scattered, screaming, clipboards flying. Zeus, my ornery bull, zeroed in on Lydia's Bentley, slamming it with a crunch of metal. The car alarm wailed as the bumper crumpled. Lydia, shrieking, dove behind a truck, her heels snapping in manure. I whistled, calming the herd, herding them back with Ethan's help, my heart pounding but steady, trained for chaos. Lydia's crew, dung-smeared, huddled by their vans. "Still want that inspection?" I asked, voice cutting the silence. Her face burned red, speechless. Sheriff Coleman rolled up, lights flashing, taking in the wrecked car, broken fence, and Lydia's disgraced posse. "Evening, Tom," he nodded, weary. "Evening, Sheriff. Trespassing issue here." My bull didn't like their parking. Coleman turned to Lydia. "Explain why you're on Tom's land without permission, riling his livestock." She waved her forged paper. "He's squatting on my ranch, Sheriff. I filed the purchase." I nodded to the house. "Deeds in my safe. 130 years ours." "You know it, Coleman." "Ma'am," he said, "filing doesn't override a deed without a court order. You're trespassing, causing damage. Leave, or you're all cited." Lydia stammered, then retreated, her crew humiliated. The Bentley was towed like a trophy of defeat. Coleman lingered. "Get Mike on this, Tom. It's gonna get meaner." "Already done," I said. Alone, the ranch felt wounded, the quiet tense. I fortified the place, floodlights, cameras, steel-reinforced locks. 3 nights later, at 2 a.m., a metallic scrape woke me. Grabbing my Beretta, I crept outside, spotting 3 figures prying the barn door where Mary's keepsakes lay. "Freeze!" I roared, my flashlight pinning them. A crowbar clattered. The tall one lunged for it. I aimed at his chest. "Don't." He froze, hands up. The others trembled. "Who sent you?" I demanded. The tall one muttered, "Harper said you slept heavy." I called Coleman, holding them until cruisers arrived. "Nice catch, Tom," Coleman said, cuffing them. The tall one sneered. "She always wins, old man." "Not tonight," I shot back. The next blow was legal, a stack of lawsuits from Lydia and her developer cronies, claiming neglect, environmental violations, even cruelty. Lies to bankrupt me. At a diner, Mike spread the papers, grim. "They're drowning you in fees, Tom. Aiming for liens. We counter with fraud, arson, assault, trespassing. It'll cost, and it'll get uglier." I nodded. "I'm ready." Driving home. Dread hit. Ethan's truck sat askew, door open, empty. "Ethan!" I shouted, sprinting to the house. The door was smashed, furniture wrecked, papers strewn. A message scrawled on the study wall, "Sell or else." My gut twisted. A groan from the woods sent me crashing through brush to find Ethan, tied to a tree, battered, eye swollen. "Two guys jumped me," he rasped. "Said to tell you." I freed him, fury burning. This was personal now, hurt one of mine. Coleman's team swarmed, medics taking Ethan to the hospital, concussion, broken wrist, but he'd heal. Under a blood-red sunset, I vowed to hunt Lydia's network down. No more defense. Mike filed injunctions. I rallied neighbors. At dawn, Lydia's final gambit arrived, a convoy of SUVs, trucks, and vans, 20 strong, led by her new black SUV. Suits, guards, movers with dollies, an army to seize my land. She marched up, white suit gleaming, waving an eviction order. "Vacate, or we'll remove you by force." I stood at the gate, calm, resolute. "Lydia, prison worth it?" Her eyes flashed. "This is legal." As her guards grabbed bolt cutters, engines roared behind her. My neighbors Frank Miller, the Carter clan, VFW vets, dozens rolled up in pickups and old cruisers, boxing her in. Ethan, on crutches, grinned from a truck. "Want Tom's ranch?" "Fight us all." Lydia screamed, "I'll have you arrested." Sirens cut her off. Coleman, state investigators, fire marshals. Coleman strode up. "Lydia Harper, you're under arrest. Fraud, forgery, trespassing, assault, arson." She gaped. "Arson?" Ethan spoke, voice steady. "The guys who jumped me said you wanted the barn burned." The fire marshal nodded. "Accelerants found." "Felony." Lydia was cuffed, shrieking, her suits and guards arrested, movers questioned. Neighbors cheered as she was hauled away. Weeks later, investigators unraveled Lydia's developer syndicate, preying on ranches across counties. Other landowners, inspired, came forward. The state AG took over. Lydia faced years in prison. Her lawsuits against me were dismissed. My deed was reaffirmed. Ethan healed, stronger, our bond ironclad. Neighbors rebuilt my barn, a community triumph. Mary's scorched locket, found in the ashes, became a symbol of endurance. Now, coffee in hand, I watch dawn paint the Harrington Ranch. The roses bloom, cattle graze, the new barn stands proud. Lydia's empire crumbled, her greed no match for our roots. Try to take this land, and you'll face a community forged in fire, unbreakable.